Yeah, bro. That one brand of infant formula through competitive bidding for infant formula rebate contracts. Oh my God. The SIDS rate is going to skyrocket. Do you hear me? The amount of infants that will perish is going to skyrocket. They are going to allow one formula that these companies have to bid for, meaning they are going to cut every cost they can. Because remember, we don't have a Food and Drug Administration anymore, right? In this administration on 2025, we don't have an FDA. Remember? So all of these companies, which about 2, 3 when we remove the facade, right, are going to battle to be that one that gets approved for your wig with no FDA intervention. That can't spill out healthy formula first. Like it just can't. It just can't. It can't. Cash app, cash app. Cause this is stressful for real. Like this is to like go back through it is crazy. One formula. One formula. Reevaluate excessive regulation. As for baby formula regulations generally, labeling regulations and regulations that unnecessarily delay the manufacture and sale of baby formula should be reevaluated. During the Biden administration, there have been devastating baby formula shortages. You know why there's been devastating baby formula shortages? Because there have been exceedingly high amounts of lead, zinc, and other harmful metals in the baby formulas. And a lot of mothers, Gen Zers, and millennials noticed that their once slow developing infant quickly perked up when they took them off of formula or baby food, Gerber, whatever it is. Leela, I'm not talking about none of that right now. I'm going to read that again so that people can get it. As for baby formula regulations, generally, labeling regulations and regulations that unnecessarily delay the manufacture and sale of baby formula should be reevaluated. That is saying, thank you, Jay, for the gifts. Y'all, but for right now, anything over a penny, please, no gifts. Just send it to the Cash App. What they're saying is any process that ensures the container of formula that you purchase is not filled with harmful metals and rat feces and whatever else, anything in place to prevent that will be taken away. And the already extremely harmful baby food products and infant formula products that we have are going to be, for the better part, inaccessible to most people who don't want to take the risk. And there will be a lot of mothers who have no choice but to take the risk. And again, I ask you, who do you think is affected by this? Are they targeting anybody specifically? But who do you think is most going to be affected by something like one infant formula brand on wig? And less project2025.org. Less regulations on how they make that formula. Who do you think? I'll give you a hint. Back when our ancestors went to go raise their kids and they were breastfeeding their kids, who suffered from that? Who suffered from our ancestors having to breastfeed their kids? Okay. I'm about to mute you because I feel like you're being ignorant on purpose. First, you said something about immigrants, which was so stupid. I'm not gonna do that.
I will bet that's why y'all better act right.
Hush up. Hamerland. Return to the original purpose of school meals. Boy, what a goodie.
And you had food stamps before? Right? Yeah.
In Ohio, yeah. Why you ask?
Cause I don't know if ours the same, but they had me, cause they keep the normal application, so they had me do the shit on paper. But it's asking for multiple person. But if I'm the only person that's gonna be on my food stamps, do I like just do this one page? And then
You got it's the paper one? Give me one.
Huh?
You got a food stamp application?
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking. I think I gotta do all this shit. Well, no, just one of them.
Let me see.
I
Is it multiple?
Yeah, it says person one, person one, person one, person one. But it's only me though. So I think I'm supposed to leave all the other shit blank.
No, you gotta, that shit been cut off for years. Yeah, this is all one thing. But you just don't fill it out. The rest of the people. Yeah, it's all one thing. It's all one application. Hey, Portia. Okay, school meals. Federal meal programs for K through 12 students were created to provide food to children from low-income families while at school. Today, however, federal school meals increasingly resemble entitlement programs that have strayed far from the original objective and represent an example of the ever-expanding federal footprint in local school operations. They said you entitled if you want your kid to be fed at school by us. Are you nuts? You're entitled. Ugh. Man, these crackers is diabolical, bro. Who thinks of this shit? Let me just keep reading. The NSLP and SBP are the two largest K-12 meal programs provided by federal taxpayer money. The NSLP launched in 1946 and the SBP in 1966, both as options specifically for children in poverty. During the COVID-19 pandemic, federal policymakers temporarily expanded access to school meal programs, but some lawmakers and federal officials have now proposed making this expansion permanent. Yet, even before the pandemic, research found that federal officials had already expanded these programs to serve children from upper-income homes, and these programs are rife with improper payments and inefficiencies. Heritage Foundation research from 2019 found that after the enactment of the community eligibility provision in 2010, the share of students from middle and upper income homes receiving free meals in states that participated in CEP doubled, and in some cases tripled. They put that in italics. Tripled. All in a program meant for children from families with incomes at or below 185% of the federal poverty line. Do y'all know how poor they want you to be able to feed your child at school through the government? Do y'all know how low 185 is? Below 185, below. Have y'all cash at me? Because I'm one of these broke bitches that's gonna be affected. Now, I'm being real. No, seriously, this shit gonna take us out. Like, they is fucked up, bro. 100 and... So here's what they want to do. No, not 185,000. They want the standard for if you can get a free meal for your child at school to be that you have to be at 185% below the poverty level. Meaning, wherever the poverty level is at, you have to be 185% below that. Below the poverty level. Below the level that you ain't got shit anyway. Okay. Okay. So here's what they're gonna do to change things. They're gonna promulgate a rule properly intercepting CEP. The USDA should issue a rule that clarifies that only an individual school or a school district as a whole, not a subset of schools within a district, must meet the 40% criteria to be eligible for CEP. Education officials should be prohibited from grouping schools together. So in a city like Houston, where they got HISD, CSID, ain't no more of that. It's Houston. What y'all got? Houston. What y'all got going up? Ain't no more. In Toledo, we got TPS. We got Sylvania. We got Maumee. No more. Because it's all the same county. Everybody's one. Do y'all know how hard it is for these school departments and these administrators to keep up with the motherfuckers they got now when it's split up? Okay. Work with lawmakers to eliminate CEP. The NSLP and SBP should be directed to serve children in need, not become an entitlement for students from middle and upper income homes. Congress should eliminate CEP. Further, the USDA should not provide meals to students during the summer unless students are taking summer school classes. Thank you for the $5. Meaning all them summer programs where they feed your kids, or all the programs where, children who normally would eat during school and their parents counted on that, so they enacted summer programs during a certain time, you can come feed your kids, gone. All the summer programs that you'll send your kids to that also come with food, go. You might still have the program, but it ain't coming with no food. Okay. And your kid gonna be there all day. Okay. Cool. Bet. Restore programs to their original intent and reject efforts to create universal free school meals. The USDA should work with lawmakers to restore NSLP and SBP to their original goal of providing food to K-12 students who otherwise would not have food to eat while at school. Federal school meals should be focused on children in need, and any efforts to expand student eligibility for federal school meals to include all K-12 students should be soundly rejected. Such expansion would allow an inefficient, wasteful program to grow, magnifying the amount of wasted taxpayer resources. Reform conservation programs. Farmers in general are excellent stewards of the land, if not for moral or ethical considerations, then out of self-interest to make sure their land and, by extension, their livelihoods remain intact. Farmers are often called the original conservationists. When evaluating federal conservation programs, it is important to remember the importance of the land to farmers. In terms of USDA federal conservation programs, both the USDA's Farm Service Agency and Natural Resources Conservation Service oversee numerous programs. As a general matter, the next administration should ensure that these programs address genuine and specific environmental concerns with a focus on currently existing environmental problems, not those that are speculative in nature. These conservation programs should have clearly identifiable goals, with the success or failure of these programs being directly measurable. Any assistance to farmers to take specific actions should not be provided unless the assistance will directly and clearly help to address a specific environmental problem. What can we do to prevent this? Who is against it that can win? Now, see, that's what I was saying earlier. The problem with this is all the right people want it. And the other problem is all the wrong people don't want it. All the people who would kick this shit out the water will never make it into that office. And I mean never. I don't care how many votes they get. I don't care how many of us rally in the street. They will never walk through them doors. Okay? They'll never do it. I don't care if they win. It'll be the first day we ever seen a presidential assassination on the first day. They'll never make it through the doors. They won't. Because these people not playing. I read y'all the homepage. They said now. They doing this shit now. They said Project 2025 as a manifesto, but these niggas is doing this right now. They're working on this right now. The people with the money, the people who can sign the dotted lines, they're working on it right now. So I can't. Y'all heard what I said. If this shit get to cracking, I'm leaving these iPhones. I'm leaving everything that's electric, and me and my child is heading on foot over the border.
What?
Mexico don't give a fuck. They not about to be asking me all type of questions. I'm gonna change our names, and it's a wrap for America, for me and mine. I'm not about to turn into no slave, because that's what's coming next. Y'all better be listening to what they saying. Like, that's what this is spelling out. When you go through the whole manifesto, that's what they are spelling out. They taking it back to colonial times. And you're not gonna have a choice. Democracy is over if this shit gets in play. There's no there. Listen, it's not a game, and we be on this bitch arguing about the dumbest shit, and they about to flip this whole bitch upside down. Yeah, the 2025. Yep. And this manifesto is, if this gets into play, like I said, this will make it to where even if we all do get on one accord, there will be nothing we can do about it. Because they're going to take away every channel that we have to do something about it. And it's not enough of us that's like coming to the understanding that it's not going to be a peaceful thing. If you can, you feel me? It's not. Cause see, I think a lot of people don't realize like how serious these people are, and that they're preparing. That they're preparing to perfect. Ooh, okay. Y'all see me moving and talking, but okay. They are preparing to perfect, this great corporation that is the United States of America. Oh, it wasn't just the black. They're testing us every day. Who is the dude? Let me try to see if I can find his name. Hold on, let's take a break from this, because it's kind of annoying. I think I remember his name, but let me look and make sure I know who I'm talking about. And y'all can say I'm woke and all that stuff, I don't care. Who the fuck just requested? Every time y'all do that, I just block y'all, but okay. Yeah, the dude Yaki Awaken. If y'all don't listen to him, listen to him. Nothing happens by chance, right? We got kids in Chicago, kids in Detroit, Cleveland, Houston, Dallas, running around with Russian automatic rifles. Children who have never seen outside of 4 blocks of their city. Ain't even been to the other side of the town where it ain't no trash in the street. You hear me? Running around with automatic rifles from overseas. Fentanyl was made in China, but it's in every hood. So I don't think there's any one test. I think every single day we're being tested, and every single day we are failing. Because even as we sit here, a lot of us know better. But niggas gonna still try to find a job. Because you still gotta pay your rent right, still gotta buy food right, still gotta keep the lights and the gas on right. We fail every day. Because the truth is, Food is free. Water is free. Electricity is free. Gas is free. Diamonds are free. Gold is free. Wood is free. Lumber is free. Right? And I talk about this all the time. I talk about how there was a time when we once understood that if I know how to build houses and you know how to bake bread, I'll build your house for you and you feed my family. Right? There was a time when we understood that we are animals. We just walk on two. So you can't sit in front of a starving man if you got 2 loaves of bread and think that he about to go work in your backyard and work for the bread and he's starving. No, he's going to you and take your bread because that's human nature. Yaki also pointed out an experiment that I had to go look up because I thought, hey, I ain't going to tell you. Sometimes I be thinking these woke niggas be lying, right? But he wasn't. The Tyrone rat maze experiment. And if y'all don't know what it is, you should look it up because it explains the hood very well. Thank you, Portia. It explains the hood so well. And it explains the way that environmental stimuli will change you and you're not even cognizant of it changing you. You're just now trying to survive through whatever stimuli is in your environment. Let me see if I can pull up the video where he was talking about it. Okay, here we go. That was one of the first videos. This must be one of his most viral videos.
Something called the Tyrone Maze Rat Experiment. Y'all need to look that up. It's called the Tyrone's Maze Rat Experiment. It went down in 1940. He ended up getting it from another psychiatrist in 1840. It's called the Tyrone Maze Rat Experiment. And what they did was they took a few hundred rats, right? And they splitted them and they divided them. And what they did was they created an environment for both of these rats to live in. In one subject, they took about 100 rats and they put it in an environment where it had clean water. They put it in an environment where it had a right amount of space for the rats can, get, basically if they wanted to be by themselves, they could. They made sure that it was good food in there that didn't have any type of poisons put inside the foods. They even gave them space to breathe, to go upstairs, downstairs. They just gave them this abundant environment, right? They put these rats in there. Mind you, these the same rats with the same genetical molecular structure, with nothing different. They both came from the same mama, the same daddy, the same family tree, right? So they took these rats, they put one in a good environment, then they put the other 100 rats in a bad environment where they didn't get water. If they did get water, the water actually had acids in it. They made sure they didn't give them the regular food. I think they gave them like cat food or something like that with a bunch of pellets that was inside of them, right? They stuck them on top of each other and they made sure that the space was very, very small. They never cleaned any poop out of the maze. They pissed out of the maze and they left them in there. They left them in there for 4 months and they watched how their behavior changed. They went back and they got the actual rats that came from the good environment and they put them in the maze. They ended up going through the maze very, very fast. Then they ended up going to get the rats that they put in a bad environment and put them in the maze, and they didn't know how to even make it through the first section of the maze. So he like, maybe this is a coincidence. So he did it. So what he did was he switched the rats. He took the rats that was smart, that made it through the maze, that was in the good environment, and he put them in a bad environment. Then he took the rats that was in a bad environment, that was dummies that couldn't make it through the maze at all, and he put them in a good environment. He waited 4 months, then he took them back out. The same rats that was good and smart, that was in a good environment, that he put in a bad environment, now they couldn't make it through the maze. The same rats that was in the bad environments, that was dummies that couldn't make it through the maze, he put them in a good environment, now they making it through the maze and making it through life just fine. So he said, damn, it ain't the genetics. It ain't who these people is as individuals. It's the community. It's the environment that you put these biological entities in that changes the way they interact with their environment and with themselves. Did you know he did another 6-month experiment on the same rats that he left in the bad environment? Guess what they started doing? Killing each other. Some of the male rats started humping other male rats. Homosexuality. Look, the other rats that was at the bottom that didn't have the food, these niggas went upstairs to the other rats and started robbing them for food and water. I said, damn, this sound like your typical project. Don't this sound like the PJs? This is a real rat experiment. So it made me start questioning. I had to sit back and really rub my chin. They turned into robbing rats? They turned into robbing, homosexual. What else are you gonna do? It's a survival mechanism at this point. Now check this out.
Keep listening though.
It was a selective group of female rats, and I really want y'all to look this up when y'all get home today. Watch this.
No, for real.
Fuck your mind up. The female rats, they started pampering themselves. They used to let their children just do what the fuck ever. They started pampering themselves. All they was worried about
hood rats. Which one these?
See, these was the hood rats. Okay. The hood rats, right? Exactly. So the hood rats, let me quote that. The hood rats, all they did was pamper themselves. The only thing that they worried about was their fur. They worried about their weight. They didn't worry about their children anymore. They weren't worried about the mama papa rat. The only thing that they focused on was the actual cells. And then the father rat started going to other different parts of the actual rat experiment cage and started like bullying on the younger children. It was crazy, man. Look, it gets so deep when you really start watching it. It even raping started happening. Rape with the older male rats in the community started raping the younger males and the younger female rats. Same thing that happens in the ghetto where a young girl will get touched on by their uncle, or a young male will get touched on by their uncle or their auntie. This happens. So it's like, damn, is this rat experiment that's going on in Tyrone, rat maze experiment, the same shit that's going on with us in these communities? And then you have to ask yourself, in the projects. And who built these communities? We didn't build these communities. We ain't put the liquor stores in these communities. We ain't put dope in there. You got something called Russian AK-47s.
Thank you for the cash app.
You got Japanese SKs. We ain't never been to Japan. We got grenades that come from... We got all these different things in the community of America that's outside of America when niggas ain't never left the block. How was they getting there? This shit was set up. So once I realized, like, damn, me and my people is in a rat maze. This is a project. We are being psychologically experimented on. That's when I said, okay, this is my motivation. It's time to break the psychological change of my people. Yep.
No, like literally go look that experiment up, because I told you. When I first heard this, I thought the nigga was lying. Because what Merlan said, sometimes a lot of these woke people, they do be on a mission, right? And I personally feel like it's a element of that in everybody. I don't think these people are ever gonna let anybody survive that's gonna give us something that'll stick, right? I think people like Yaki, Rashad Jamal, I think they mean well, and they just trying to do the best they can with what they got. I feel bad for them niggas, because like that, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could be that message deliverer, like, and have all that. Okay, 6 side. Not they mad because I played the video. Since when you can't play videos? Yeah, did you see his little commercial? He said, "Ask where I been at. Well, I tell you, not bad. Not on Epstein's Islands. At home, not riding." I said, "I know that's right." Freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass aside. Man. Listen. It's just too much. It's just too much. Listen, these ain't, let me tell y'all now, if you are an overthinker, you have ADHD, you have anxiety, or any other personality mental illness, I am not encouraging you to go down these rabbit holes, because it's nuts. It makes you feel like the entire world, everything you know, is not real. It really does. Aww. Merlan is pretty as hell. And you is too, Sonya. Y'all actually kind of favor. That's kind of crazy. Have y'all looked at each other before? Y'all kind of favor. I learned a lot from this Yaki Awaken person, though. I learned that, what's the name? Wife found his spellman. I was like, what the fuck? I think it was Rockefeller. It was either Rockefeller or Rothschild. One of them motherfuckers. I said, oh my, man, hey. Rockefeller made the school system. Like, listen, I'm telling y'all, if you do go down the rabbit hole, I'm telling you, your view of everything is gonna be so fucking distorted. Like, you gonna have such an out of body experience. I'm telling you, because it becomes so apparent. Like, I don't care what nobody say, everybody be on that conspiracy. And I really truly think that's why they want TikTok gone so bad, because everything that people once viewed as like such a far off, oh, the government wouldn't do this, they're not doing, everything that was once such crazy talk is now becoming more, oh, thank you, Toya, more and more apparent that it was a fucking lie, right? Everything that we know is literally for the profit of 5 families who have been in power for so long that everything we know traces back to their system. None of it is fucking real. And see, that's my problem with religion. Because like of my mental stuff, it's so hard for me to feel and perceive something that's not there. Knowing everything that I know. It'd be like, you be sitting there dumbfounded. Like, even our money. Like, it's just, I don't know. Everything we know is based off of a grand scheme. Down to the very school system that our children are in to this day. Around the 70s and 80s, when black people started talking about the school to prison pipeline, and people played them like they was crazy, they wasn't crazy. Schools are designed not to teach us, not to sharpen our brains. They are designed to get us used to repetition and authority. That's all it's for. And they need to use things like animation and fun time and art and music to keep a child engaged. But the point is to learn and become comfortable with repetition and authority. The only thing we use about that schoolhouse is reading, writing, and arithmetic. Science is not even a factual thing. Them niggas guessing too. They don't know. They ain't proving shit. Down to the calendar, somebody decided that. And back in the 1500s, when them niggas felt when they felt like this shit ain't lining up to the holidays we want, guess what they did? They took days out that motherfucker. They said, listen, everything. We don't know what day it is. We don't know what time it is. It ain't May 29th, Wednesday 12/18 everywhere in the world. 2024. We living on the most recent calendar because, again, there was a time when royalty could do whatever they wanted, including change the fucking date. You can literally find it in the calendars. You go back far enough, you will find the exact calendar that is missing 15 fucking days. And everybody carried on like it was normal. Everything we know is based off of what somebody told us. The Pythagorean theorem. That was just a nigga. Socrates, that was just a motherfucker. But it sounded good to somebody, so we cemented it. They didn't know. They didn't know for sure. And they was stealing half the shit from... Like, and it makes it, for me personally, for a person who is autistic and has a cluster B personality disorder, which even that is probably some fucked up lying ass shit, but whatever. It makes it so hard to even function on some days because I feel like I'm walking in a alternate reality. A alternate fucking reality. Because truthfully, we do not know the day, time, nor the year. We don't. And I personally believe that is why, up to this day, indigenous people have been under vicious attack. And when I say indigenous, I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about any indigenous people on any land. Whether that was Tortuga Island, which we now call America, Africa, I don't give a fuck. I feel like that is why indigenous people, and what was the real name for Africa? I need to quit saying that too, because that's Africa. That's a white man name. See what I'm saying? But I personally feel like that is why they have been under such attack for so long, because they're the only ones who really know. The only ones who truly know. Before these motherfuckers came and flipped everything upside down. Yeah, so it was the man Leo Africanus. He named Africa. What the fuck was it called before that shit? Alkubu-Ian. Alkubulan. But y'all see what I'm saying? We talking about we want to go back to Africa, and that's some damn white man's name. You see? It's cold business. These motherfuckers is cold. And they really, I'm telling you, the more you find out about these type of people, it made me believe in aliens so much more, because it's no possible way that these people can know what is being done and be human and be okay with it. It's no fucking way. These are soulless entities in meat suits, I swear to you. They have to be. I just seen a baby, and trigger warning. And it's a real trigger. So if you gotta go right now. I'm gonna give y'all a little second. Y'all can cash at me while we wait on the people to go. But for real, I'm hungry. I know y'all hear my stomach growling. And I'm up here giving free summer conspiracy classes. Y'all know this is my type of shit, though. This is my type of shit. That's another thing, Darth. Oh, that's another thing. Don't get me started on the way these animals been tweaking. Don't get me started on the way the animals been tweaking. Nigga, did y'all see the video where the whales all huddled up? Them niggas knew, hey, we about to go die. They all huddled up, nigga. They loved on each other, and them niggas went and tried to off theyself coming up on the shore. That's not normal. And that's not okay. And they just did one little news story, and then everybody was like, well, what? Or when I seen that, I cried so hard. Because let me tell y'all, again, in my opinion, indigenous people who have not been tainted and who have held on to their roots, animals and babies are the only things we can count on to tell us when something is wrong. The only things. If a child don't want to go to somebody, you better pay the fuck attention. If an animal is acting weird around somebody or acting weird, period, your ass better pay attention. I used to tell y'all all the time, when me and Alba be driving and she say something, I don't want to go this way, I don't think we should go that way, nigga, we not going. Because before spirit will tell my tainted soul, it's going to tell her. It's going to tell the pure ones to deliver the message. And it's up to you to listen. Because sometimes some of us be too in ourselves. Some of us be too in this realm. We won't hear the shit no way. So spirit does not waste its time giving the warnings to us. Because we won't hear it. We won't heed it. So it delivers to who can receive it. The fact that a whole huddle of whales huddled together to grieve each other and love on each other before they intentionally washed up on shore to die. Bro, what are they doing to the fucking water? What is going on in the ocean? Why were the orcas attacking yachts back to back to back? Orcas are some of the most peaceful creatures in the fucking ocean. Why was that happening? What is this big glob that's floating on the coast of Africa? Anybody heard of that? A big ass motherfucking unknown thing on radars. Coincidentally, not government radars, but radars of people that got a boatload of money that just do shit. See, that's the other reason why they mad. It's too many white people with money finding shit the fuck out. Too many people with money are out here bored. Because see, what they forgot about is when they made it easy for the rich, they made it easy for everybody rich. And everybody rich ain't in their club. The club is small. The club is small. So everybody that's rich but not in the club, can we get some cash apps, please? I'm hungry. Okay. Everybody that's not in the club is using their time to do shit like put radars and shit up. Yes, showed up in water. Huge. Spanning across multiple countries on the coast of Africa. Huge. What the fuck is that? Y'all know them CERN people was up there fucking around. Like, listen, man, listen. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, and I don't know, maybe it's easier for me to accept because, again, like I've told y'all, my father was a Navy veteran, a war veteran. So I grew up with the mindset of these niggas is liars. I grew up hearing stories about my dad having to bury friends, about my dad being made to lie when he was in the service. You know what I'm saying? So I knew as a child, like, they would lie. When 9/11 happened, I was one of the few kids who was sitting around listening to adults saying, yeah, that motherfucker Bush, them flew the motherfucker. Like, my people was furious. They knew off rip. I heard, I can't even say his name, but if you know what I'm talking about, the letter to America, I can't say his name. They definitely taking this bitch. But OBL, his letter to America, I heard that when it happened, because my dad and them was reading it. You feel me? So maybe that's why. But then again, I see, listen, at least once a day on TikTok, I see a heartbroken soldier who has gone through a war and realizes that he has been scarred for life and has lost his friends for the greed of 5 families. Or the video of the Vietnam War Zippo lighters and those heartbreaking messages when they realize as they stand in field to field with the enemy that they are not each other's enemy and they are unaliving each other for the betterment of 5 families. So this is something I grew up knowing. Me and all of my cousins, everybody was strictly forbidden to go to the military. It was not even something we could consider. So maybe that's why I am more prone to these quote unquote conspiracies. But again, in my perspective, in my opinion, I don't see how anybody could be human and be okay with the things that are happening. And we have all these protests, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, but we also have to remember nothing is happening that these people don't know about, right? The thing that scared me about All Eyes on Palestine is all eyes are literally on Palestine and they still eradicating them people. Everybody is watching Rafah. Everybody. And they are still slaughtering them, wiping them off the face of the earth as if nobody's watching. That's the scary part to me. The scary part about it is everybody is watching Palestine and they still bombing them people like no tomorrow. They know we see them. They know we know they're lying. They know we know this is a genocide. They know this and they do not care. So what are the eyes going to do for Congo? What are the eyes going to do for the Sudan? Because the eyes are not stopping videos of parents holding up their kids with their heads off in Palestine. I just had to see that shit the other day. I damn near went to throw my phone at the fucking wall. Because how many more fucking headless babies can I fucking see? Jesus, like that shit, man. And all eyes are on Palestine across the fucking globe. And they are eradicating them people. They are not stopping. So, because we also have to remember, right? Blackness is demonized everywhere. So if they're doing this to people that look like the Palestinians, with all eyes on Palestine, all eyes on Gaza, if they're doing this when the whole world is watching, what can we expect to happen for the Congolese people? What can we expect to happen for the Sudanese people? Aside from a much harsher fate, because don't nobody give a fuck about the little black kids. Don't nobody give a fuck about them people risking their lives every single day, coming in contact with materials that a human should not ever touch, let alone be in contact with for hours, 16, 24 hours. What can we expect to happen to these people? They know what is happening. That's why I believe these people are aliens. They're not human beings. There's no fucking way. There's no way possible. You cannot convince me that you have a soul and an inner dialogue and like you are not empty and you know this stuff is happening. These people are not oblivious to what is going on. They know what's happening in Sudan. They know what's happening in the Congo. They know kids is getting swiped up off the streets every day in America to go be somebody's buffet. They know this. They know this. They're helping. They're indulging. They're the customers. Human trafficking couldn't be this big without government help. Because like we just heard, Yaki, niggas ain't been out the hood. Human trafficking could not be a trillion, not trillion, not billion, not million. It could not be a $1 trillion industry without government assistance. It's no way possible. It's no way. You say the wrong thing on your phone, the Secret Service gonna show up at your front fucking door. If you got a house on some land that the government wants, they're coming to you and you're going to give that house up or not. You're going to give it up or they're going to fucking take it. They know where all of us are, what all of us are doing at all times. And I'm convinced that they have technology that can tell us what the fuck, that can tell them what we're thinking without us even voicing it. Like these phones. Because I know that most of y'all have experienced thinking something, not saying it, but thinking something, and then you see an ad for it. Tell me y'all ain't experienced that. Not saying something out loud, but you thought about something, and that shit popped up on your phone. That shit not no coincidence. That nothing is by coincidence. The word in itself, that is another thing. The English motherfucking language is a motherfucking lie. And it's a spell to keep us dumb. I got to get off this subject because I'm going to get mad. Shit. That's another motherfucking thing. The English language in itself is just a big ass motherfucking contradiction to make us keep on fucking ourselves over. I'm going to give y'all a great coincidence. I'm about to use that. I'm about to show y'all how the word coincidence is a motherfucking spell and ooh. So, what's the definition of coincidence? Because see, this is the thing when it comes to words. Definitions are definitions, and a definition can be changed at any time. A definition is something that somebody else defined. But if you want to know what a word means, you have to go to the etymology of a word, meaning what did this word stem from? Coincidence. A noun, a remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without apparent causal connection, correspondence in nature or in time of occurrence, the coincidence of interest between the mining companies and certain politicians. That's a real funny example, Google. Real funny example. But let's get to the etymology of the word, shall we? So, the etymology of the word comes from the medieval Latin coincidere. I'm going to say coincidere, coincide, agree, down to, again, the medieval Latin coincidentia, mixed with the English coincide. What does coincide mean? Well, let's check it out. Because, see, they want you to think that coincidence is, it just happened. There's no fucking such thing. What does coincide mean? To correspond in nature, correspond in position, meet or intersect. What's the etymology of this? From the medieval Latin co, which means together with. So the etymology of coincide, which is the word that they use to create coincidence, meaning it just happened. Wow, the luck of the mining companies and the politicians to be on the same. Wow, the coincidence. Because that is the example they just gave us. It is made up from the word coincide. Coincide. This Oxford. So this is what they're giving us, right? Coincide is made of the medieval Latin co, together with, and the medieval Latin incidere, fall upon or into. It's not, it ain't nothing that just happened. It is together with it. This happened, then this happened. Boom, boom. It comes like that. You have the baby, okay? You eat, you get full, it comes out. It ain't no, oh, well, no. This, then this. Boom. They are together. The cause and effect is one, not two. It's one. They want us to think it's two because they want you to believe that the effect is going to be coincidence. No. They're one. They're one. And I personally think, and I say this to my therapist, I feel like even the way we view words makes it hard for some of us to function in society. Because I feel like if we were taught that there's no such thing as coincidence, that cause and effect is one thing, there is no by chance, by luck, there is no none of that. I feel like we would have been better equipped to be more control over our own minds, our own thoughts, and our own actions. Because I also don't believe that every thought that comes into our head is our own. I don't. But yeah, there's no such thing as coincidences. And the English language is just a bastardized spell book to keep our asses dumb and numb. Now listen, Merlin, I know you're a Christian, so I'm not gonna hurt you. I don't like speaking on the Bible because that's another thing that has been ripped and dipped and flipped and twit. Because a lot of y'all read KJV or KJV, but King James was a raging homosexual and a raging pedophile who wrote the book to match what he wanted people to be, even though he wasn't that. So I don't talk about the Bible. I don't talk about the Bible because it's a touchy subject, and I don't be wanting no smoke. I don't be wanting that smoke. I do not be wanting that smoke, baby. Because, baby, once I get on the Bible, I'm going to get to the Vatican, and then I'm going to take it there, and it's going to be over with. It's going to be over with. Because don't let me get the preaching. Because I really tell you, what Kendrick says, freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside. Now, let me say this, though. I do believe there is a higher force. I do. Thank y'all for tapping the screen. If anybody would like to bless the Cash App, it's greatly appreciated and needed. I believe that there is something that wanted to counteract these beings that we are in contact with. That's what I believe. I don't believe that there is just one creator, because I think to believe that there's one creator, I think that's just putting too much pressure on any one entity. I don't think we're the only life.
White people get on my nerves.
I think that's just kind of like an ignorant viewpoint, in my opinion. I think it's very human to think that, right? It's very like, it gives like false sense of grandeur. Like, yeah, we're the only ones who could sustain life. Meanwhile, we're killing our fucking planet, right? So I think it's just real ignorant to think that when we're doing such a terrible job at maintaining literally the only thing we have to live on. So I do believe that there is a creator responsible for this planet and responsible for those of us that are human beings, right? And I believe that that entity is trying to combat, and this might sound like some Star Wars shit, I don't give a fuck, but I believe that entity is trying to combat the entities from other worlds that came to its planet to take over. I believe there is a specific creator for this planet, whatever planet it is. They say it's Earth, so okay. For this particular realm that we're on, I believe there's a creator for this realm. And the entities that are supposed to be in this realm, which would be human beings, right? I believe that. And I believe that it is doing its best to counteract entities and their creators from other worlds that have invaded here. That's what I believe. I personally think that Jesus and other worldly stories were implemented so that people could not conceptualize the true concept of a creator, right? I think that the humanity of it was needed so people could have something relate to. Because if you think about it, would you even want to relate to a divine, omnipresent being? I mean, I fucking wouldn't. I wouldn't be wanting to see all this shit at once. So, but relatability is important for human beings. It's very important for human beings to be able to stomach things, especially huge concepts like a god. It's very, very important, especially in the times where the Christian God was introduced, because people were starting to become more aware of their own abilities and relied less on signs from nature and animals and the moon and all. They stopped relying on him, on that stuff. So you could no longer just say worship this. You had to give it some relatability. That's just my opinion, though. No, I'm talking about the whole thing. I ain't talking about Jesus. I'm talking about the whole thing. Like, the way that God is explained, it is very human-like. God is a jealous God. You know, you can't worship nothing else. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say nothing bad about him. Like, those are human traits. Jealousy, that's human. That's an animalistic. Ooh, got your Bible. Hold on. Did you got your ranking song? You got your ranking song? All right, I'm going to wait till you say something. Those are animalistic traits. Jealousy, anger, wrath, revenge. Those are animalistic traits. Why would an all-seeing, all-knowing, everywhere at once entity be jealous? What would be greater? What could possibly be bigger? What would it be jealous of? What would it be angry for? Because didn't you know? Aren't you all-knowing? So you knew. Why would you be mad? There's a lot of animalistic human characteristics added to this entity, and I personally believe it is because we wouldn't be able to relate if it wasn't. We wouldn't even care to if it wasn't. That's what I personally think. And I feel like we see that all the time when people speak about things that are not things you can relate to. Dragons, aliens, conspiracy theories. If it's not relatable, most times people will reject it. So I think it was important to add those characteristics to this entity that you are creating to rule over people for not just a couple hundred years, a couple thousand years, but this was a plan implemented to do exactly what it's doing. Christianity is everywhere. It's all over the globe. Probably the one place it's not is North Sentinel Island. It is everywhere, on every continent. And no disrespect, but the way that it's been enacted, that's not divine. That's not faith. That's fear. Most Christians, if they weren't in fear of some eternal damnation, they wouldn't care to cover up the already horrible people that most of them are. It is not a love for God that drives most of them. It is a fear for unending punishment that drives most of them, if you ask me. And that's why I always be like, to me, Christians are some of the worst of the worst, because to me, being integral as a person is doing the right thing when you know there will be no consequences for the wrong thing. So if the only reason you live in your life right is so you don't go to hell, if you weren't going to go to hell, would you still live your life right? So you believe there's no heaven or hell when we pass away? I'm going to say this. They tell us energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So with that being said, what is death? Whenever people ask me, do I believe in heaven or hell, that's always how I answer. If energy can't be created, nor can it be destroyed, what is death and what is birth? Because if you're telling me that I am energy, right? And energy cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed, what that sounds like to me is this is some sort of never-ending loop, which would mean there is no final destination. So I guess my answer is no. Damn, I just literally came to that just now. Like the actual no. I've never had the actual no. But see, I'm not even speaking reincarnation. I'm speaking science. Because science tells us, and science is the law that we all go by, right? And not even science. Let's remove science, because really I feel like it's a universal law. And for me, universal law is the only thing set in stone. Hey, Ray. Y'all keep tapping that screen for me, please. No gifts at this time, you guys. Y'all can send little roses to protect the live. But for now, just send cash ups if you can. It's cold now. What was I about to say? Damn, I forgot. Oh, yeah. I'm not even speaking like from like a religious aspect. I'm speaking from like an energetic law. You can't create it and you can't destroy it. So if you can't create energy, then we have to question what is birth. And if you can't destroy energy, then we have to question what is death. Am I a person or am I energy inside of a person? Are you your soul or are you your body? Like, you feel me? Because I feel like I would believe it if we were our bodies. Because that has a final destination, right? Your body does not have a never-ending cycle. It runs until it cannot, and then it's done, right? But that's not what they tell us. We have souls. We're energy. This is just the vessel that it is formed in. So with that being said, what is death? Because the only thing that's happening, technically, is your body is shutting down. But the soul cannot be destroyed because it is energy. So what next? Right. That's what I'm saying, Darth. That's how we know we're not our bodies, we're our souls. So I don't think there is, personally, a heaven or a hell. I think we are energy linked all to the same source. And when I say all of us, I mean those of us of this realm, of this world. But I think it is an energetic loop. You may come back as a tree leaf. That might be the way your energy forms. Your energy may form as a droplet in the ocean. Your energy may form as a kitten. Your energy may form as whatever. But I think it's an energetic loop, personally. And I really think about death, like, often. Not on the, well, I guess that too, but I just think about, like what is going to happen? Like, literally, like, what's going to happen? Death is something that has fascinated humans for so long because it's the one thing that you can never really know. I don't care who you talk to, whether you go to a mambo, a priest, a psychic, a medium, whoever. It is all you trusting what that person says, right? Even on the ones where they be like, oh, they couldn't have known that. It's still all you trusting that, right? We don't know what happens. We don't know. Because to know something means, without a shadow of a doubt, there's nothing that could refute it. And that's not the case for death at all. There's nothing concrete about death except it's irreversible sometimes. Because people die and come back. Death is fascinating. Damn, that shit got me wanting to get off and go do some documentary stuff. Because that death is so fascinating. Like, what is going to happen? And then y'all know they say time runs consecutively. So, bitch, what if you die and you end up like in the 1500s and you look up, it's a fucking dinosaur right there or something like... Well, not the 1500s. That's way too late for dinosaurs. Y'all know what I'm saying, though. Like, bitch, what if that is how it go? What if it's just never ending? What if this is the never ending story, bro? You make it through a life and you right back. Like, man, what the fuck? But do you know? See, I gotta get off death. I'm telling you, sober and whole, I sit here and really tweet. Right, like, where are they? And then dreams is a wild one too, man. Dreams is a wild one too. Because what the fuck is that? And why that should be feeling like that? That should be feeling dead real. But they say those is other realms. Listen, I gotta go, y'all. I'm getting tripped out. Let's get real. I gotta get me something to eat. I think I got somebody sent me 10 and another 5. That'll be good enough for right now. I'm hungry, girl. I'm hungry. I got 2 Cash App in this time, so I'm about to give me something to eat and watch me a documentary. Need to do some anxiety exercises too, because talking about this do make my anxiety go hella up. My hands and feet are so clammy right now. Like, this stuff really does make me so anxious, because it's like, oh my God. Nigga, you think all you got to worry about is rent and bills. Next thing you know,